Hi and hello, watch fans, and welcome to another edition of the Real Time Show with me, your friendly neighborhood watchmaker Rob Nuds, recording from Villa Sarasan in Geneva for the Time to Watch's 2025 event. I'm here with the sales director of Beaubleu, Mark Harper. Welcome to the studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's a real pleasure to have you, actually, Mark, because you brought a breath of fresh air into the glass igloo that needed it after a very, very hot day.
It's quite hot in here.
Everybody is losing weight on the go, which is not a terrible thing. Of course, it is Geneva, the land of luxury, so we all have to look our best, but not the most comfortable way to work. How has it been for you working in this climate with an endless stream of people coming to your stand?
Yeah, it's always something that we have a lot of pleasure in, I think, to be here, be present. I mean, Geneva is basically, it's kind of the main hub of watches, I would say, globally when it comes to that. And also being here for all of the fairs, really, it's a must. So it's very nice to meet all the really good contacts, a lot of people coming by, a lot of really nice clients. It's really kind of nice to scrape people's brains, I guess, and their thoughts on our brand. So it's something that it's a little bit of a pleasure.
So Beaubleu's been going for how many years now? 5?
Almost 8 now, actually.
No, it's not almost 8, is it? No, you're making me feel old.
I feel myself somewhere. We were founded in 2017.
Oh, don't tell me that was 8 years ago. That's my problem. I can't do the math. Someone told me that 2007 was almost 20 years ago the other day, and I laughed at them, and then I realized it wasn't a joke.
I know.
That's brutal. So 8 years on the go. Last few years, the trajectory has really skyrocketed. I mean, we're seeing great things from Beaubleu. We're seeing nominations for GPHG's awards being won all over the place, international acclaim. What's it like being on the front line of a brand that has really stormed to the front of relevance when it comes to small independents?
Yeah, I'm probably going to use a word that everybody says. It is very exciting, actually. For me, I joined the company almost 4 years ago now. I think 3 years, actually. And I would say, yeah, it's interesting to really see, especially now that we're doing a lot of development internationally. We've started really... I would say be much more present in France as well, kind of establishing ourselves as maybe like a frontliner, I guess, in France when it comes to micro brands as well. So it's interesting to see all the development. The team has changed a lot. Adding a lot of new designs over the years. That's always been super interesting to see firsthand. Having new offices, having new people, new faces, meeting new clients. It is really an exciting time. Lots of travel. That's always great.
Yeah, tell me about it. You got to keep a handle on it, though, because it can get out of hand quick, especially when you're working for a small company. I guess wearing many hats, even though the company is growing.
For sure.
How many people are in the brand now?
We're 10. We have a couple watchmakers. We have a few different directors that each, obviously, like you're saying, we're each wearing a lot of hats, but we have our own baby, as we like to say. So it's kind of it's a cool project because we work well together. Everybody has a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of creative backgrounds, which is also really nice, especially since we're a very design focused brand. So it's cool to work with a lot of like-minded people, I would say.
So where are you based?
We're based in Paris.
What about you? You're in Paris as well?
I'm also in Paris, surprisingly.
But you're on the road a fair bit?
Yeah, I would say almost a third of the year. Third of the year on the way.
Okay. And what are your main goals as sales director? You're trying to open new points of sale, you're trying to get the word out, you're trying to build connections through media? Yeah,
exactly. I would say my specific job when I first started was really to kind of put the nail in the coffin, I guess, when it came to France, really closing that, showing that in France we're a very reputable, known brand that people know. Now I would say it's transformed a little bit more into that international role where I'm like me specifically, where I'm going out to a lot of different fairs, meeting a lot of new clients, meeting new retailers, new distributors. Basically just trying to get the word out a little bit more about the brand. I think obviously, like you said, with the GPHG, that gave us a good boost. I'll be honest, it was exciting. We didn't expect it, so everybody was super excited. We popped open the champagne and when we heard about it, so that was great. It's kind of this idea of bringing this Parisian kind of lifestyle to the rest of the world.
How many points of sale do you have around the world right now?
About 80.
About 80 already.
Yeah, about 80. I mean, a lot of them are also, obviously a lot of them are going to be based in France. I'd say we have about 60 in France. Some big department stores. We're working with the Galerie Lafayette, the Le Printemps. And then we have, about 15 to 20, I would say, worldwide. We're in about 10 countries at the moment.
Okay, and you sell online as well?
We do sell online. We have 3 points of sale, I would say, well, 3 sales channels more likely. So we sell in the boutique, obviously, which is it's in Paris. It's in the Marais, which is, if you know Paris, it's kind of a hip, nice little place to be. There's a great coffee shops. There's a great place to work.
Nice,
great place to invite clients. We also have the website. Which we just redid the website as well. So, congratulations to the rest of the team that worked quite a lot on that. So that was great. And then we work with a lot of different retailers.
So, taking the markets that you're already present in out of the equation, where have you identified through retail sales that should be your next point of attack?
Yeah, so I would say when it comes to our strategy, we really use the website like a scout or a sniper.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of companies that are growing do that. Mm-hmm. E-commerce gives you that opportunity to grow. So obviously, I think most French companies, the US is going to be a big country a big market really to attack. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the rest of Europe. So focusing, I would say now more on French-speaking markets primarily, but Germany, the UK is a big market. Kind of the rest of the Mediterranean countries like Italy, Spain, France, and then Asia as well. Like we have a good representation when it comes to Japan, notably. But yeah, the idea is basically see what we're selling, and we understand that a lot of people really want to see the watches. This is a day and age where everybody's buying online, and so sometimes it's not as easy to see the watches before you buy them. Mm-hmm. So the goal has been saying like, where are these people from, and how do we get those watches to them?
Not to put a downer on proceedings, because we're having a very nice time, but you may have heard of the tariffs that have just been...
Listen, as an American myself, I've definitely heard of these tariffs.
Yeah, okay. And it's not like it can really fly under anyone's radar at the moment, especially not in our industry. Yeah. I'm assuming that you ship watches normally from your base in Paris.
Yeah, we have our workshops in Paris.
What's the tariff on France projected to be? Is it 20 or higher?
I think it was looking anywhere between 25 to 31%.
That high?
Yeah, I haven't seen the final results yet, to be honest.
Well, we won't really know whether anything's final for a few days yet, I suppose, and whether or not it sticks for the duration or even a significant amount of time is up in the air, as everything is. But have you had internal discussions as to how you might navigate that should those tariffs stick, or is it still a work in progress?
No, I mean, absolutely. I think the French especially, I say we, but we talk a lot to each other. A lot of people in the industry obviously are discussing this openly with each other because it is a significant factor in what's going on. The US is one of the largest markets in the world for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've discussed it internally. We're trying to figure out how to adjust because the end goal really is just that the client is happy and they're not feeling that too much, because we understand that's stressful when you see that on the news and you're saying like, oh no, my watch is going to be 30% more, and that's not really the goal. So we're trying to figure out basically ways to go about it. There's nothing that's been finally decided. There's a lot of different options, but yeah, I think the idea is to talk to some of my American friends as well in the industry and kind of see what they're doing and how they're reacting to it, and take some advice and basically move forward in a way that doesn't hurt anybody.
It's very interesting to countenance this moving target, as it were, because we've never been in a world where international trade has been so under threat, and our very existences, in fact, many existences for small brands, some of the ones I work with, especially the vast majority of sales go to the US from Europe. Mm-hmm. It could be existential. I mean, it will be existential for some people. It will destroy some brands, no doubt, if they do hold in place. Maybe it's an opportunity, I suppose, is one way to look at it, if certain brands can tread the water. But it seems like Beaubleu is in such a position of strength and solidity right now that I think you guys are going to be okay, especially with such a healthy presence in France. What are you doing right now to get the word out more about the brand? What kind of media strategies are you pursuing? Yeah,
I mean, I think when it comes to media, where we try to be a little creative, but there's always certain channels that have proved to work consistently. So, so we're very present on Instagram, very present with using like Google Ads and trying to get the word out to those people. We have our newsletters to target the people that are coming to the website, etc. But I think one of our biggest forces really is our Instagram. I mean, everybody uses Instagram now to, even when you want to look up a restaurant, you have Google Maps, at least you look at the reviews, see the star rating, etc. But I think when it really comes to seeing images, kind of the story and philosophy of a brand, it's really easy to kind of scroll through all the photos on Instagram, kind of understand, get the vibe, be able to talk directly with us via messaging as well if there's any questions. So I'd say, Instagram's probably one of our bigger ones.
I mean, it takes a lot of creativity to stay relevant and be heard above the noise on a channel as saturated as Instagram. But like you said, you have a huge number of creative people working for the team, yourself included. So tell me about your background, because it isn't the path commonly trodden to lead to watchmaking.
I'd say maybe myself as a person, I'm a little traditional. So I actually started in music. I was a musician myself in the US for a long time. I studied in Italy, doing working with orchestras, working with electronic music, doing conducting, playing jazz in small bars, etc. And I did that for a long time. And one of the main things was moving outside of the US. Really you're introduced to so many things: new food, new culture, new people, new languages. And I think, especially maybe for Americans, is very exciting. I mean, we get that in the U.S. New York, for example, or San Francisco, or Chicago, what have you. Like the very international hubs, you get all that stuff. But it's always even more interesting to be in those countries yourself. Yeah, and I kind of caught the bug when it comes to traveling and learning. I love languages and things like that, and so basically I was like, well, okay, what's really far away from home, because I want to see what's far, what's different. And I looked at the map and I was like, well, I mean, it's got to be China. It's it's on the other side of the world. And so I actually lived in China for about 5 years. I was living in near Shanghai, and then moved down to Hong Kong. Worked in music still. Worked in teaching English, kind of like everybody else as well. And then actually, what happened was then COVID hit. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when COVID hit, being over there, it hit faster than it hit in the West. So I was kind of looking at options to get back. I was like, well, no, I don't really want to go back home. I still want to travel. So I came to France originally to study, and also because I wanted to learn French. And then, I ended up, meeting, Nicolas Ducudel, which is our CEO. While being there, and I'll be honest, I really wasn't somebody that was in the watch industry before, but that's something that really caught me about the brand itself. Was it had this design that I really have never seen before. Nothing too out there to where I didn't really understand it, but I was like, oh, okay, there's these very cool hands. I don't really understand it, never seen it before. Then we started talking, and then he was telling me about his plans, 3, 5, 10-year business plan, and basically we discussed, and it just seemed to work out.
Well, it seems like a marriage made in heaven, to be honest. He seems to have slotted into this team perfectly. Like, the Beaubleu team does...
There's a lot of love on the team.
There's a vibe of extreme love, and I've spent many, many nights with Nicolas in many places, many pubs, many dives, deep, dark dives, speakeasies around the world, sipping whiskey in the corner of the room, normally observing things. And he's a great guy. I can feel the fraternal nature of this team.
For sure.
10 people, it's quite a lot of employees for a brand so young. But to be honest, it's a family, right? You're a family within a family. The watchmaking industry is this big family. You give off good vibes. People come to you. As Alain always says, he's standing outside the studio now making an absolute racket. So I apologize if you can hear him on the recording. He's a very loud Dutchman. And the Dutch are...
That's right.
They've got projecting voices, and is somehow making it through the walls of the studio. But he always says your vibe attracts your tribe, and I get that feeling very much. People understand the brand. Like you said, the brand universe is so well communicated via the channels that you use. And so you met Nicolas in a friendly situation, and then the conversation began like, how could you work with each other? Because you're connected, and he wanted you to be part of the team.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're one of the most visible members of the team, right?
Yeah. For better or for worse?
I'd say that it seems to be working out for the better. Look, Mark, it's a pleasure to sit down with you, and I can't wait to do it again. I'd love to get you back on the show for a full hour chat, talking about Beaubleu, your life, and everything else around that, because it's a great story. But
I mean, I'm a talkative person, an hour, that's great for me.
Great stuff. Well, we'll book it in as soon as possible. In the meantime, I wish you all the best for the End of Time to Watchers.
You as well, thank you.
Thanks. Well, what a cool guy Mark turned out to be. I mean, what a story. Comes from a background in music straight into Watchers, bringing all that creative energy and vision to Beaubleu, one of the skyrocketing brands of recent times. Alon, you weren't able to be in that meeting, unfortunately, but you have seen the Watchers and passed by the stand while we were in Geneva at Villa Sarasan. And what do you make of the brand and its current trajectory?
So the brand was introduced to me originally by our dear friend Frédéric Dampier, an avid member of the Real Time Show Network. He helped out Nicolas Ducaudet-Femme, the founder, CEO of Maison Beaubleu. He wasn't at Geneva because he had a very good excuse. And by now, he should have become a papa. So big congrats to you, Nicolas, and your dear wife. I hope everything went well and you guys are in your baby bubble enjoying. I did pass by the stand. I didn't have time to... Sorry. I didn't have time to sit in on the interview, unfortunately. I love these watches. I love these oversized hands. It's a bit Art Deco-ish, and they remind me of the avant-gardism vibe. And there's a watch that comes to mind. That's the Avant-Garde by Raqueta. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan. I'm a big fan of the team. I've always had a great relationship with Nicolas, and congratulations for welcoming the next superstar of watchmaking, because I'm sure the child, I don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl, but the child will grow up in this world, and hopefully Beaubleu will still be kicking around when it's time for them to enter the industry and pick up the incredible legacy that Papa is writing for them at the moment. And what a team he's got around himself. It's great, like, when you can skip out on a fair like that for excellent reasons. Obviously, as we always say, family comes first, then maybe health. Although I don't follow that one very well, do I, at the minute? I mean, you can hear probably in my voice that I'm suffering a little bit after a lot of traveling, too much hopping around. But it's part of the game, and Nicolas has done that himself ever since he started Beaubleu. He's been very present at events. He's been active in the community. He's built a great following. He's won awards for design, and what a success story it is. A simple concept, maybe, but exactly what someone should be trying to do at this price point, I think, because what he's done basically is he's not created a complication. He has taken the way the time is presented and made it aesthetically unique. And that, I think, is a real success, something that we should all be looking for in brands of this price point. And we're talking around €1,250 for the bulk of the collection. And I think that is a very fair price, certainly given the prestige, I would say, the brand has cultivated for itself in just a few years of existence. We've known him from day one, really, haven't we? Like, I remember when he first launched, I think the first time we met him was probably Time to Watchers when it was held at Head Genève, and he was there with his then fiancée, now wife and baby mama. And they just seemed like they had it all together, like they were going places. It felt like that from day one. What sort of sense did you get from them back in the early days?
Idem dito. And as I said, I got introduced to a friend, so that changes your sentiment up front. But he's a designer, and I think that's a very good thing that designers start new brands, because they have a fresh view on things and they're less hindered by problems and technical problems, and they approach things like an architect. So they come with a design and then the structure needs to follow. So it seems they have a long-term vision, so they take things nice and slow. They don't rush things, which is obviously a good thing.
Yeah, it's interesting that you point that out, isn't it? That designers, maybe not necessarily obsessive watch collectors or watch nerds, are so much freer in what they do. And we've got several examples, even in my close circle. I mean, Anders Brandt from Arcanaut, he doesn't even know anything about the watch industry. He deliberately keeps himself away from it, so he's not influenced by the things that could pollute his creativity, which is amusing actually sometimes, because he'll come up with stuff that's maybe been done before and he'll pass it under my nose and I'll say, oh, we can't do that. Angelus did that in 1950 or whatever. And he's like, oh, right, okay. But it's interesting to watch when someone is so free in their mind, how many things they will arrive at that have already been done. And so when you see someone turn up and do something that really hasn't been done, and again, it's not groundbreaking technically speaking, it's just cool. It's just an idea that they've executed very well and built on with the Second Francais model, which has the mystery seconds hand, I guess you would say. It's a floating disc, which very satisfyingly kisses the inside and outside edges of 2-minute and hour rings on the watch, which is the dial itself has some depth to it, which is also extremely nice to have on the wrist, watching it play with the light as your wrist moves naturally throughout the day. And yeah, look at Lasse and Einstein from Straum, for example, both industrial designers, not watch geeks by any stretch of the imagination. They just wanted to attack a watch, and they've built one of the most robust and, versatile watches on the market, and then brought with it that little bit of flair that has come from just their own ingenuity rather than the influence of brands around them. So it is curious. Also, what we talked about Sebastian from Alberson yesterday, and he's maybe an interesting one. I'm probably going to be bringing him up a lot this week, because as you can tell, I was very taken by him and enjoyed his company greatly. But he's someone that has all the knowledge and yet is still able to do something new with it without being too influenced by what's around him. How rare do you think that is, Alan?
Very rare, and they're almost the unicorns, and that's what I love about it.
Have you got a Beaubleu yet? Because I think I don't have one yet, but I would like one.
Well said, not yet. I, from a distance, always love Milanese mesh straps. They have done an excellent job by making an integrated mesh bracelet, but they're not my cup of tea. So I haven't yet, rightfully said so by you. And maybe this is a good excuse to think of a TRTS styled Beaubleu.
Well, that would be an absolute joy. And in fact, I mean, just deploying a sort of ocean blue and bright orange color scheme onto the Second Francais would be an instant hit, I would say. But also, I was just thinking this is prime for an Ace collab, and maybe just take your white and orange color scheme and slap that on there. That would be sharp.
That will be sharp. Think about a collab with Alain Silberstein. That would be cool. Think of doing Tutti Frutti. Would be awesome. Do something with orange.
Oh, yes. That would be brilliant. Silberstein and Beaubleu, match made in heaven.
Definitely. Twice French.
Yeah.
Both designers. Alain obviously is origin architect. So yeah. Who is emailing him first, you or me?
I don't know. Let's try and set it up, shall we? And talking of French, did you notice what movement is inside this?
I don't remember, but I don't think it's a La Joupere, or is it?
No. I think it's Francais Bush in the Second Francais. I think it's. I'm pretty sure that it is. I mean, I caught a glimpse of the balance bridge, and it's like the bow tie balance,
But that's maybe now, because when they kicked off, I think it was Ita, because it's rather slim.
Yes.
Slim case.
Yeah. No, I think this is a new edition for just the Second Francais. I think that's why the price has stepped up a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And that is really cool because it just doubles down on the Frenchness. And so, well, if you got Alain Silberstein involved as well, then you'd be French, triple French. That's a lot of French, but this is the place to get your Frenchness, I would say. Nice.
Agree.
Very nice. All right. Well, let's leave it there and hop on the emails and try and set up this match made in heaven.
Good idea.
All right, mate. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.